like this number. Don't you know he's listening? The 13. He's here.
You have entered the 13, a place where real stories about music, touring, and the beyond are told. Music does something to us. We all experience it in our own way. It can affect our senses, transport us through time, and release emotions. On this podcast, we will talk with people about the power of music and the beyond. What does the beyond mean? Let's find out together. Turn on your metronomes because this time is about to be tracked. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 13. I'm your host, Ryan 13. And today on the show, we have Michael Anthony Gerard, the guy from Goat and Your Mom. Holy crap. What are you even doing here?
Oh, hell, I don't know. Got a friend named Stephen Mann who told me about you, and I figured I need another interview, and what the hell,
Dude, this is awesome.
More interviews are better,
Fuck yeah, absolutely. And I'm fucking super pumped. I'm super excited that you're here. Like when you reached out, I was like, no fucking way. I knew exactly who you were when you reached out and sent the message or whatever. And I was like, I've actually you've been in my thought journal. I guess if I had a thought journal, I don't actually have one, but you know what? The thing up here was like, holy crap, you know what would be great if I talked to this guy? You're one of the people. So one of the reasons I'm super excited for you to be here is I got to talk to you about what everybody probably wants to talk to you about, like the Tosh.0 thing.
Sure.
Was that a surprise? How did that come to be?
I mean, it was a surprise. I did know that my video was already starting to gain some steam. I had no idea that there was this show called Tosh.0 that everybody watched where he critiqued on the videos and made fun of them, or in my case, he actually, gave me a little props.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool as a comparison to what he usually says most people. But I also took all the pokes at the bear to be funny as well. It was just me passed out on the couch at the time, and my phone started blowing up, and people telling me, "Hey, you're on Tosh.0, man. Turn on the TV." So I saw the second time it played. Back then, it was playing like once, and then it'd play again. And I had cable at the time, so.
Dude, that's so. So how random was it? Like, what did you feel when you watched it?
Oh, I was like, hot damn, To some extent, man, I've been on television before.
Sure.
So it wasn't my first time. Back in 1994 for Woodstock, I hitchhiked all the way there from Boise, Idaho.
No way.
Naked. They put me on MTV. They put me on CNN. I even had a little tiny paragraph in Time magazine. Now, they didn't show any pictures of me in Time, but on MTV, they just put a peace symbol over my penis.
Dude, no shit. Now I'm gonna look that up. Have you seen that recently?
Hard to find, man. It's so hard to find. I mean, I was going by Goat of Mendez back then. That's what Goat actually originally stood for, and that's the pentagram with the goat in it, or or the goat with titties. Either which one you want to call it,
Oh yeah, no, totally. I totally know. Dude, that's so fucking awesome. What a cool thing. Like, when I first saw that, I wasn't even really a fan of Tosh.0. Like, he's a funny dude and stuff, but like, I remember watching that. I was like, why does that look like a venue I've played before? And I don't know if it was, but like,
it wasn't.
Austin always had these like, and they might not now, because I haven't even been to Austin since 2015. But like they've had these little backyard places.
Okay, well, I mean, then you might have if you played a Skull by Skull. I don't know if you did or not, but that's what it was. It was Skull by Skull. It's an event they throw. They were throwing every year at this group called the Skid Marks. It was like a club. It's kind of like a biker club, but they also just rode bicycles and delivered pizza.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're just crazy guys that would just do all kinds of silly, ridiculous shit, kind of like Jackass.
Okay. Oh, dude. Well, I don't know if I remember playing that place, but I mean, I played like Red Seven and the Dirty
Well,
Dog
I could
and
literally tell you the address. I remember the address, 1047 Springdale.
1047
So
Springdale. Damn. Okay.
I,
No,
I,
I
I actually lived there with the dude that came up and played with my junk.
really.
Yeah, yeah. I was sleeping on his couch, and he was putting me up. Basically, I mean, I was giving him a little bit of money, but he was like, "Man, you're paying me more money than my roommates are." So,
Did
at the time, he was just like happy to have me because I was about as crazy as he was, and I'd
all
say he's
right. This
actually
next song is your girlfriend's favorite one, or whatever it was you said.
yeah, yeah.
the That's so awesome.
I'd say he's actually a little bit more crazy than me. We had some nights where he was just off the hook, man.
Really.
He had this band called the Hood Rats. You might have heard of them.
Yep. Yep. I
Okay.
know the Hood Rats, and I know.
Okay. Well, that was his band. That was his band.
Okay. Wow. Random.
That's how I originally met him. Was I was going to all the Hood Rats shows because I
Really.
just was in love with that band. I was like, oh my god, this is the best punk band I've heard in so long. Like, so they were my favorite band in Austin when I first came here. I came here in 2007.
Okay, so man, I wonder if we ran into each other, dude. I bet you $1 million we
Oh,
were
more than
probably at
likely.
some of the same shows because
Oh, absolutely.
we were starting to. I was in a band called Razor 13 with Doug Pennick from King's X, and we were starting to
Oh, wow.
record. We were starting to record the album. Then it was before Doug joined. We had a different singer. I used to bass tech for Doug. And King's
Oh,
X and
nice,
stuff or
crazy.
whatever for a long
You got
for a
that.
long
You
time.
got that 8 string bass.
Yeah. Oh, he had it was 12. I called it the monster,
Oh,
and
what?
fuck
That's
that
right. It
thing.
was 12. That's right. It
Yeah.
was 12.
And
It was
this
like 3 strings for every string.
it yep. And it was awful.
That's right. I forgot about that. I saw him in Ventura.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dude, like Doug's one of my
Exact.
yeah, dude, Doug's one of my favorite people. He was a groomsman in my wedding. I've worked for him for or I used to work for him forever. This amp right here with the Razor 13 symbol
Gotcha.
is his. I just fucking
Oh, wow.
painted my own shit over it. And then there's a crate blue voodoo right there, and that was also his. He was like, "Yeah, you can borrow that." 20 years ago, and I still have it. Anyway, long story short, like I don't know, dude. Like Austin has so many crazy fucking venues that come and go, and there's only some that really stick around. Did you guys ever play Headhunters?
Oh, yeah. We
Dude,
played
that
there
place.
literally more than any place else. A lot of people hated Steve, but he came up to me one time and was like, dude, I hate how your band chases people off some nights, but I don't give a shit because I love what you're doing. And I'm going to keep booking your band no matter what.
Dude, fucking
And I
Steve.
mean, in the beginning, man, somebody taking off their clothes and shaking their dick at you, that chases people away.
Dude, but Headhunters wasn't like the perfect location. It was like
No, it
what was it? It
was,
was
dude.
on
I love that
it was
bar. That's
seventh and what was it, Red River or seventh,
eighth in Red River.
eighth and Red River.
Yeah,
Dude, it was
corner eighth in Red River. It's close enough. But
yeah,
yeah, man, that was the best bar ever.
I loved it, man. And then they went on that TV show and
Yeah, Metal and Lace is what they changed it to after being on Bar Rescue.
then did it die after that or did they
Funny
go
thing
back?
is my current drummer is actually on that Bar Rescue show. He's the bald guy, the tall bald guy, sound guy.
Okay. Do you know Al Shire?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we both
He's
know Al.
just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just an acquaintance. Never
Yeah,
really, never
he
really got to
he
know him.
he played in Razor 13 for a minute, my band.
Oh wow, right.
We needed him for well, we needed somebody last minute because the guy who was going to play live guitar, he just couldn't make it. He was coming from the East Coast or something, and he couldn't make it. And our guitar player, Big Mike, was like, "Hey, I think I got this guy Al Shire who could learn the songs." And Shire learned the songs in like 4 days. It was fucking fantastic. He
Yeah,
was like,
some people are just like that. They can just
I couldn't.
no,
I'm
me
not that
either.
great of a musician.
No, me either. I'm just an artist.
Yeah,
I
and
don't even call
that's how
myself a
I felt
musician.
about
I'm
that's
an
how I,
artist that plays bass.
yeah, like that's how I felt about it. I was like, how the fuck did you learn these songs? And then now you're on the road with us and we're doing all these things. But dude,
Yeah.
Austin's such a close knit community. Do you know Jason McMaster?
Yeah, I'm actually well. One of my old roommates is Robert Williams. He
Okay.
he plays guitar for Igniter, which is one of
Yeah.
Jason McMaster's bands.
Dude, that's so fucking cool. Dude, it's such a small world, man.
Yeah,
I haven't even been, like I said, I haven't even been in Austin since 2015.
and
So,
with him, it's still kind of just acquaintance. We say hi to each other and shit, shoot the shit
yeah.
for like a couple minutes, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Jason's been on the show. It was super
Right on.
cool. Like I could totally tell he didn't remember who I was.
Oh man,
It
after
was
a while, man, it's hard to remember who people are,
dude, when you're yeah, like no, but
especially when
like
you're
he
masters.
figured it out after a minute. He was oh, because I had a mustache, and
Gotcha.
I normally don't have a mustache, but I've been trying to
Yeah.
grow the mustache out because I don't know. Apparently, I can now. I turned 40, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I can grow a mustache.
Now
But
my mustache won't grow because of the chemo.
oh my
The
god,
rest of the beard grows and the hair fell out, but well, I just shaved my head beforehand because they said, "Well, you might lose your hair." Well, screw it, just shave my head.
just get rid of it. So
Put
like,
all
how long?
different kinds of haircut styles in the way just to see what a handlebar mustache looked like and how
Yeah.
I look like bald and with a mohawk and so on and so forth.
So how have you been dealing with the stuff, man? Doing the
Oh
chemo
man,
and
it's not
everything.
fucking completely terrible, man. Honestly, I'd say I probably had a better trip than most people have with the cancer part,
Okay.
because like I'm still eating, I'm not puking, I'm maintaining weight, but with the where the cancer was part, they had to rip it out of my back. I
Oh,
was partially paralyzed from the waist down, a little bit higher than that, like from here down,
sure.
uh, right about here, right where the screen ends. Um, from there down, and it's like it's slowly coming back.
Okay,
So
good.
I gotta doing my exercises every day, and they got people coming to see me 3 days a week, and my insurance pays for it, so I'm pretty happy about that. I got pretty decent insurance. Um, and I'm slowly but surely getting to walk. I'm walking like a 1 year old at this point. This is my
Well,
stroller right here. That's
no,
what my
that's
girlfriend calls it.
dude. Well, fuck yeah, that's better than fucking nothing, man.
No doubt,
I
no. I mean, I've got the gumption to want to get better, man, and that's a lot of having was what it has to do with. If I wasn't so goddamn frustrated about getting better, I don't think I'd be getting as better as fast as I'm getting better. The steroids help though too.
oh sure.
They got me on steroids for like the first 5 days after each chemo treatment,
Okay.
so that does help. But I also wonder sometimes, how well the chemo's doing. I won't know until mid-October, so I'm gonna go see my mom because I miss her and I haven't seen her in a couple years. And she's in Idaho, and I've got a GoFundMe set up for that on my page on Facebook if anybody
Oh,
wants to go check it out. You know,
absolutely. Links below, everybody. I'll get it from him after the show, and we'll put it down there. Dude, this is fantastic. Like, so when you go see your mom in Idaho, I mean, you don't have to tell me exactly where in Idaho, but I fucking
right
love Idaho. My uncle lives in Idaho. That place is beautiful.
where I grew up, man. Middleton,
What
Idaho,
okay,
2,500 people.
nothing, nobody,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Oh
you could
man,
you could get away with murder.
it's so beautiful. We
Not saying
played.
I did, but I might have known somebody who did.
I'm from Katy, Texas, and when I was growing up, there was like nothing out there. Like it was a small town. Nobody was around. Like it took 30 minutes to get to Houston. It was just a beautiful place, and I loved growing up in this like little small area because everybody knew each other and everybody had like there was a community there. And now that place is a little bit sucked up by Houston and just like everything. Like Austin is just
Yeah, I don't
expanding.
think my small town got sucked up, but I'll have more information when I go again. But last time I went, there was still only 5,000. Like
Really?
it doubled in size, but that's it.
So when you
It's
go
like
up there,
it's like 20 miles south of Boise. I used to hitchhike from Middleton to Boise to see shows all the time.
when you go up there, you think it's just going to be like a nice retreat. You got to get the go see your mom and have a
Oh,
good
and all my
time.
old friends that I grew up with and went to metal shows with and was in the pit with, you know.
Dude, the pit. Okay, let's talk about this. Now that we're both a little older here, when you're in your 20s and you jump in the pit, it's like an instinct. It
Oh
starts
yeah.
it starts happening and then all of a sudden you're fucking in there.
Yeah,
I just went to a show for the first time in like 4 years, and a pit started, and I was like, okay, I should go in there. And then I thought, I'll just okay, I'll go to the bar.
you're about to turn 40, aren't you?
I turned 40, and I'm like, I'm already
Okay, I had the same thing.
uh,
Right about the time I hit 40, like I was like, yeah, yeah, you wanna, but then
yeah,
you go, man, it's gonna hurt.
it's not going to be great. And look at that big dude over there. That's
Yeah,
not going to be
yeah,
great.
and no, and before it was like, look at that big dude, I'm going for him.
Yeah, it was. And you'd get knocked on the ground.
Yeah,
The
and just
cool,
get back up and go for him again.
yeah, and the cool thing is you get knocked on the ground by that big dude, and he'd fucking pick you back up.
Oh
Because
yeah, totally.
the one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand about the metal community, the punk community, the rock community, the whatever, is when the when the mosh starts, it's a release, it's a fun thing. It's like, this
Yeah.
is where we're at, this is what we want to do, we're having fun.
Oh,
But
I
most of the
gotta
time we
stop in
take care
there
of our
most of the time. DRI shows in the 1980s, not so much.
okay, he's right. Or Slayer shows it even up into the early 2000s. Like, you'd should
Yeah,
like I'd
yeah.
go see Slayer. I've seen Slayer 10
The pit's
times.
just so big they ain't got time to pick you up. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, you were just being trampled, and there'd be one
Yeah,
person trying to like grab you by your shirt, and your
yeah.
shirt would get ripped off
They're
because
trying to
somebody
help
else.
you out, but no, someone else is knocking them down at the same time.
There was, dude, in the 90s, there was guys wearing razor blades in their fucking hair.
Oh yeah,
How
no, I had a not razor blades, but what do you call that when it goes from here to here and it's got spikes up to here? I
a
don't know.
gauntlet or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's it. That's it. A
Yeah.
gauntlet. Anyway, mine weren't sharpened, but a friends of mine
Were.
had like rings with spikes on them that were sharpened, and he was cutting people in the crowd. So I ended up getting thrown out because they didn't really notice his couple of rings, And it was
Oh
a
my
Creator
God.
Coma Souls tour.
Yeah. I've seen
I
Creator.
went out to my van and I took the bracelet off and went back up and they let me in eventually. I was like, look, I took my bracelet off. They like gonna behave. I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't have the bracelet on, whatever you want to call it, gauntlet. But anyway, so after that, like the end of the show, drummer threw his stick out and like I swear the sea just parted when I jumped up because they thought I was still wearing the thing. I caught the stick. I still have that stick.
Dude, that's fucking fantastic. I Creator story here for me. I was on tour with King's X in Europe in 2009. So I went to Europe with King's X two times. But in 2009, me, the drummer Jerry Gaskell, Guy Trent, it doesn't matter. I don't need to tell all the people. It was like me and four people from the band and the crew. We went
There you
to
go.
013 in Tilburg, Holland, and we ended up our I guess our tour manager, his name was Bobo. His real name is like Jens or something, something very German. And Jens or Bobo was like, oh yeah, like we can go hang out with the guys. And I was like, we're gonna go fucking hang out with Creator. Like, first of all, guys, nobody call Creator the German Slayer because they don't like that.
Oh
Second of
no, they're
all, I don't know why I thought that at the time,
not. Oh
but
wow.
I was drunk and I was like, you guys are the German Slayer. And they like, the whole band was like, get this fucking kid out of here. Um,
More like
anyway,
Slayer's the German Creator.
it's true. And like, so we got to hang out with the guys and
No, I
everybody.
mean Slayer did come out first.
Yeah, well, that's true. And but everybody was super cool, but Creator and everybody got us super fucked up and wasted, and
Nice.
we left, and we're walking down the streets of Tilburg trying to find the tour bus, and somebody started a Bee Gees song, like, you can't tell by the way I do my walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. And like, and we're like just as out of key as I did it just now. All of us, everyone, everybody from King's X, all of the band, helpers and stuff. We're screaming this with our arms over each other's shoulders and singing this on the way out. And I swear to God, people from like their rooftops and their windows were like throwing things at us, opening windows, shut up in a different language that we didn't know. We didn't care.
Right.
So what's been going on musically besides, I mean, I know you've been dealing
we've
with the
got an
cancels.
album that's basically sitting there waiting to be released. Okay, so we've got
Okay.
to get it copyrighted and get all the lyrics down on paper so everybody has a nice little lyric sheet if they buy the CD, you
Yeah.
know, and all the pages, that sort of a thing. It's basically been supposed to come out for like 3 years, so it's like 4 years in the making.
Okay. So like you guys started doing it during the
We started doing
pandemic.
this like after our last tour in 2019, right before the pandemic.
Man, that
And
pandemic
we
fucking
were
ruined
already
everything.
recording before it was, a pandemic thing.
Yeah. Right.
But then, the pandemic happened and we changed drummers because that drummer wasn't working out. And then just fold after fold in the wrong direction that just kept us from being able to do it, including my cancer.
Right.
But it's still going to come out and it'll be out next year, probably in the beginning of the year. April is what I'm guessing. That's what I'm
Okay.
shooting for. Maybe I'll put it out on my surgery date.
Okay. When's your surgery? Oh, don't tell me. You don't have
My
to.
surgery was April 3rd.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
April.
I don't care. Give somebody a date to look forward to.
Fuck yeah. April 3rd, guys. Everybody. This is fucking awesome. This is so fucking cool, dude. Thank you for coming on.
It'll have 13 tracks. It's pretty
Ooh, I like
badass.
that number.
Billy Milano does butternut squash with me.
No fucking way. I know
You
Billy.
know,
Oh my god.
and
Well, I mean, I used to know Billy. I haven't
well,
fucking
I
talked
met
to
him
him.
before. I met him at Headhunters, but I really don't count that meeting. That was like a fan meeting. When I
Yeah.
met him, he was on tour with SOD when I saw him in Ventura, California. That's where I
Okay.
moved here from. But then I ran into him at Headhunters, and we just hit it off, man. We've been
Was
friends
he
ever since.
working at Headhunters or was he just
He was doing sound at Headhunters at the time.
yeah. That's so cool. Dude, it's still I know I've said this earlier, but what a fucking small world. This is
Yeah,
so
no
cool.
doubt, no doubt.
I was talking to Mike DeLeon, or however anyone ever
I
wants
know
to
who
say
you're
it.
talking about. Yeah, we're good friends as well, man. I've
Yeah,
actually if you scroll a couple pictures back on the Goat in Your Mom page, you'll see a picture of me and him.
dude, he's so fucking nice. That
Oh
he
yeah,
just
he's so nice, it's ridiculous. Like
it
I've never met a nicer metalhead.
dude, like he's like, I agree 100%. And like he's like, oh yeah, I'm going on tour with Soulfly as the guitar player. I'm like, well, you motherfucker. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah,
It,
first he was in MOD,
yep.
and then he was in the Illegals with
Yep.
Phil.
It's still,
And
I think that's still a thing. They're just not doing
right,
anything.
well, yeah, as long as Pantera's doing their thing, which is probably I don't know, man. I don't think that's ever going to stop.
I kind of
I,
think it's
I think they'll
forever.
end up. I think they'll end up actually writing music. They're just reluctant to do it right now. They don't want to
Yeah.
say they're gonna,
Well,
but
there was a show. There was a show. I've been watching all the shows on YouTube, and excuse me. There was a show where Phil said, I think it was Arlington, and he was like, "All right, so I'm saying if, and this is a big if Pantera comes back here again," and I was like, "Oh fuck."
yeah, exactly. No,
Here it
that's
goes.
I don't think there's going to be an end to that, man. But it was really cool that they brought along Flesh Order, man. That was the shit.
Dude, it was
I was
so
like,
cool.
holy crap.
They
I
did
mean,
like
Flesh
3
Order's got the
shows.
drummer from my band. I mean, it's
Really?
not in my band anymore, but yeah, Flesh Order has the drummer from the video that made us popular.
Dude, no way. I didn't even fucking know. That's so
Yeah, that's Renee
cool.
Martinez.
Oh, okay. Nope. Yep. Okay. Now it all makes sense. Dude, and I love Flesh Order. They're fucking cool. I love pretty much
And
anything Mike's
the bass
in.
player used to be in this band called oh shit, what was it called? Ah, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's gone.
It's
Oh
okay.
well.
It'll come back. And when
Anyway,
it comes,
they used to be in a band together as well. And I was also in a death metal band with Renee called Horror Bethlehem. I only did one show with them down in Harlingen, but I was the front man for that as well, and did death metal growls.
what a fucking cool name. Horror of Bethlehem.
Yeah, and then I did another death metal band called Pain Through Fate, and there's actually stuff on YouTube from Pain Through Fate.
Dude, that's fucking sick as shit. I can't believe it. So when your the drummer from the band went over to Flesh Hoarder, what did I mean? It
Well,
was just a thing.
he was already playing for Disfigured at the time with
Yep.
Mike.
Yep. Oh my god, I forgot about Disfigured.
And Flesh Hoarder just kind of came out of that to some extent. I feel like Flesh Hoarder is like the evolution of Disfigured.
Yeah, okay. I'm not a death metal guy anymore. Like, I mean, I got Cradle of Filth on the wall. I've got
Gotcha.
Metallica on the wall. I've got Lemmy on the wall. I've got Trent Reznor on the wall. I've got Mortis. Do you know who Mortis is?
Yeah.
Like Mortis from Emperor, but became the elf that did the thing. I like. I've got. I'm all over the. I just love everything metal, industrial, and whatever you can think of.
When Renee was in my band, he was just doing it because I asked him.
Okay.
And I was like, look, I just need a drummer. I don't care what you want to do. If you want to go Ringo Starr with it, go Ringo Starr with it. And that's what he did. He went less than Ringo Starr. He doesn't even have a tom. But that was like I think the only show he ever even did with us. Maybe he did one other show. I'm not positive. I can't remember that far back. It's been 11 years now.
Dude, yeah, the time is fucking flying by.
Yeah.
I haven't done music in 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I haven't done.
I can't imagine stopping, man. But I mean, haven't done much lately, but I've still got tunes ringing in my head. Wrote something down the other day and picked up the bass for a minute, but I couldn't pick up the bass for a couple months first thing after the cancer because it kicked my ass, man. I was using a sliding board to get from the bed to the wheelchair, but now I can walk, not real well, but I can walk with the walker. So I'm pretty happy about how fast the progress and the doctor that did the surgery, this isn't about the cancer. This is about where they ripped it out of.
Right.
That did the surgery to do spinal fusion and decompression. He said I'm doing phenomenal, which makes me feel pretty good about that.
Dude, yeah, fuck yeah. So like, I can only imagine. Like, I have back problems, and I have to go see a chiropractor once every like 15 years or something. But like, I'm getting older, and everything in my back is fucked right now. And so like,
I'm in so much pain. They got me on oxycodone all the time.
So have you thought about, and this is just me saying this out loud because I don't know what you're going through.
Right.
I mean,
I also take medical marijuana.
I would too. Fuck, I'd take marijuana.
Well, I know, but they actually prescribed it to me, and I thought to myself, man, when I was like 16 years old, first starting to smoke pot, I was like, if you asked me then if I was going to be smoking legal marijuana, like I would have told you full of shit.
In Texas.
Yeah, in Texas. Well, Idaho too, man. Actually, in Idaho, it's still against the law. Not even medical. Medical marijuana is against the law in the state of Idaho. So I'd be right if I was talking about the state of Idaho back then. I don't know if they'll ever still change their damn laws. They'll probably be the last damn state to change.
I don't know if it's going to be Idaho or Texas, but it's going to be one of the two.
Yeah, I think
Texas is right. Texas right now is surrounded by legal marijuana.
Yeah, but I can get legal medicinal marijuana. In Idaho, you can't even get legal medicinal.
Really? Oh, yes. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. They've got a town outside of my town that's called Notice, and we would call it Not Us because it was a clean city. Like you can't even buy cigarettes at the damn corner store.
Like clean, fucking clean. No booze, no cigarettes, no nothing.
Not even cigarettes.
Oh my God. Dude, like, in Texas, when you're heading up to Dallas and stuff, like on I-45, there's a couple of clean, or not clean, but dry counties.
Yeah, dry is what I meant to call it.
And I jumped into a tour bus, did a thing, and the tour bus broke down in a dry county. And me and J-Rab was the drummer or the drum tech for Jerry Gaskell and King's X. We got off the bus and I was like, well, what the fuck are we going to do? He's like, well, let's go buy some beer. There's a corner store right there. And so we walked to the corner store and there's no beer in the corner store. We asked the lady at the thing, we're like, well, hey, where's the beer? She goes, oh, about 15 miles that way. And we're sitting, and I don't know, I think I'm 26 or something at the time. And I'm like, okay, we're going to walk 15 miles to go get beer. And J-Rab was 10 years older than me, or 14 years older than me, actually. And he was like, no, we're fucking not. We're just not going to drink. And I just remembered sitting there being like, really? Like, until the fucking bus guy comes to fix this thing, we're just going to hang out and not do anything. We're out of weed. We're out of fucking whatever. But yeah, that's what we did. We played video game on a PlayStation 1 or something. Nice. So what do you got? What do you think you got coming out besides the stuff you've got in the bank? You think you got anything you guys are going to start?
Oh man, I'm trying to come up with everything I can, write it down, play it, put it on some sort of recording. I've got stuff that's just been in the bank forever.
Yeah.
You know, I've also got things that are sitting there waiting to be written. With everything, you know, being written about these sexual encounters in my life, you know, nice. To some extent, at least, not always. Sometimes it's a fantasy that I might have, but sure. Other times, you know, it's just straight up about a moment I had in my life. So that life moment is still sitting there in my head, and on paper, I've like literally got, you know, the list of all the women I've been with.
Oh yeah, I had a list. Started getting big.
Yeah, it's mine's not huge, but it's enough to write enough songs about to where I'm not going to run out of material.
There it is. Okay, cool. So you got plans, just trying to figure out when to.
Oh man, well, when this hit me, you know, with the cancer, man, I just was like, fuck, dude, I might die someday. Even if I live through this, you know, shit, I only got 20 years left. I better start writing down everything I can, you know, just to have it all recorded and out there. And Absolutely. Then I heard about this YouTube taking people's YouTubes down after 2 years if you're not active on your YouTube or your Google. And I'm like, what? Why would you do that? And how do I make it to where you don't do that? You know, with my channel. Like how do you stop that from happening? Is there some way to do that? You know, I mean, got to save up for a gravestone at this point. Got to have somebody visit my grave. You know, I don't want to just be burned and all that good stuff. You know, if that's the way it's got to be, then that's the way it's got to be. But you know, I started thinking about all kinds of this shit. You know, that I just
absolutely
kind of put my life into perspective. I thought myself as invincible before this.
Dude, I love this. So okay, so for real shit. I like you're dealing with some stuff. You're getting over it. You're fucking about to rock the fuck out and start being better.
Oh yeah, we'll do a tour to follow the album release. That's for damn sure.
So, but when you were dealing, and I know you're still dealing with it a little bit, but like when you were dealing with it hardcore and you were thinking about these dark things, you know, like, okay, like I might die or whatever. When you were thinking about this stuff, I have a thing where I think about like, I don't want to be buried this way. I'd rather be buried this way, or I personally do not want to be cremated, but I also personally don't want to be put in a box in the dirt. What was one of the things you were thinking about or are thinking about or whatever with your, you know, with the stuff that you're past now? Like,
I thought if I can just outlive my mom, she wants to be burned, and then I'll have her urn with me and it'll say on my gravestone, "Here lies the goat and his mom."
Oh, no way, dude. I love that. That's as rock and roll as it gets.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish off this episode with what I like to do with everybody.
All right.
I like to ask because I say music does something to somebody. You know, it makes the hair stand up on your arms. It makes you feel something. It makes you, I don't know, just like kind of come out of your body. And one of the things that made me
Absolutely.
come out of my body was watching you sing that one song when I saw it on Tosh Point oh. I was like, there's no fucking way this is really happening.
Right.
And it was super fantastic. And I've been a fan ever since.
Right on.
But there's some bands that like touch you in a certain way, like emotionally. Um, and per se, like for me, it's I like this guy, this old Nine Inch Nails guy over here, old Trent Reznor. Back in the day, before he just got old and whatever, he had angst and he had emotions and he wrote hurt, and there was stuff that just really fucking made my skin almost crawl in a good way.
Right.
What's one of the bands that has made you feel so emotional that whether you sat in front of some people and physically wept, or if you did it alone, what's a band or a song?
Physically wept. It would have only been over the way a song was written because I was just butthurt over my puppy love. You know, like the first time I ever fell in love was with my pot dealer's wife,
Okay.
and it was the Aerosmith Grip album. As shitty as that is, that's the only album I ever wept to. That's
And
the
you
only
were
shit
like,
I ever wept to. It's because, and it's like I said, it's just because of the butthurt time I was going through in my life.
sure.
I don't think it was really and I always loved Aerosmith, and I shouldn't love that album. That's like one of their worst records, but I fucking love that record. I think it's fucking great.
Was that
But
like the
it takes me back
cocaine
to that
out? Was
time
that the
frame.
cocaine album?
That was no, that was the one where they had Alicia Silverstone in the videos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they had all the ballads.
So like early 90s.
Yeah, like 90, 92, 93,
It was
94 ish.
Alicia Silverstone and
And
his
Liv,
daughter.
yeah, and his daughter Liv.
Yeah. Oh my dude.
But more of a band that was an influence would be Wasp and Van Halen.
Oh fuck yeah.
But my favorite band came out when I was 18, and that's Deicide.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god. I got stories about that. Sorry. And I
Yeah,
totally
me too.
overdrove that. Talk to me about Deicide. Talk to me about why they're your
Well, I
favorite.
didn't get to see him for the first time until the Incinerate Him tour, but I was so stoked that I was getting to see him that I was like, fuck it, let's go see him twice. So we went to see him in LA, me and a friend uh, from Ventura, California. We went to see him in LA and then again in Anaheim the next day. And I'm hanging out, I'm smoking with the brothers, and or not with the brothers, but with Steve and Brian. Eric didn't want to smoke, um, and because it was only Reggie, like,
Right, right, right.
but he said if it was Kind Bud, he would have smoked. But so I see Glenn come up with this just rockin' hot goth girl with big titties, and I asked him if he wants to join us to smoke. And he's like, man, I got to go get paid. I was like, all right, here. And I just handed him a joint, and he just lit up. Like his eyes were like, what? Really? Wow, thanks. You know? And I said, I'll see you tomorrow. And he's like, okay. And so I see him the next day before the show, and I hit him up and I said, hey man, how's it going? What do you do? What are you doing? You got time to talk today? He's like, yeah, man. I said, I got another joint. So we went out behind the U-Haul and shot the shit about all his stuff that he did background vocals on, and I told him about all the I had a cassette where I took every single one of the things that he did background vocals on and filled one side of the cassette with all that. And I think I might have boosted his ego a little bit because he was on tour with Vital Remains,
Yeah.
and well, what did he later do but join Vital Remains as their vocalist? Add to that Deicide story, he told me, "Hey man, yeah, I smoked that joint you gave me on the way from L.A. to Anaheim."
And what did he feel? What did he feel?
I
Dude,
it's just
yeah,
like that was
fucking
cool
great.
to have the joint to smoke, on the way. He was thanking me, and it was just cool to get thanked by asshole Glenn. Because everybody said he was an asshole, and I'm like, well, if you want to take it that way to some extent, like when he said, "Ah, man, I got to get paid," he didn't have time to hang out the first time. I just handed him a joint, man. He's not being an asshole. He's just got to go get paid.
That's right. That's
Plus, he's
fucking
got
right.
this bomb ass, goth girl with him. I don't want to interrupt him too much.
When I met Danny from Cradle of Filth the first time, like I was at the engine room in Houston, Texas. I knew exactly where the bands would be coming out of and where they would be going to their bus and like where they would be hanging out. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to like try to meet Danny Filth. And I finally see him and he's this tall. I'm 6'2" and Danny's like 5 foot
Yeah.
nothing. And I'm like, Danny, will you sign the CD? And he was like, yeah, sure. And he signs the CD, hands it to me, and he goes, off you go. Because he was talking to a chick. Like,
Right.
I'm sure he had a wife and stuff at the time, but like he was literally like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I got something going on.
Yeah. And it's like, and I got to understand at that point, he's not being an asshole. He's just trying to, talk to
Yeah,
a chick.
and he was being he was nice. So yeah, here you go. Like I met Jared Leto a few times from 30 Seconds to Mars, and like he was always super nice. He never had a chick to do whatever
Run you
with.
off for.
Yeah, but he would still be like, all right, cool, man, later. And I think it's really interesting because I don't think I ever got popular enough in Razor 13 or anything to get
Yeah, and ditto.
to get that type of attention. But when you do start getting that attention, when you come off stage, and all of a sudden there's like people all around
Yeah.
you. Oh
And
wow,
you're like,
this is
man, I'm just
cool.
trying to get off the stage, man. Leave me alone
Yeah.
for a half a second here.
Yeah, I just oh okay cool, yeah, I'll sign some stuff. Like oh hang on a second, let me go to the van because
Yeah.
and then I come back out from the van, and then there would still be a couple of people that
Yeah,
cared.
and you end up running into a couple of people off, like because they don't want to wait.
That's
Like,
right.
damn it,
Yeah.
dude, just wait a minute.
Oh man,
Oh,
now I only have one
I'm
person to
bored
sign a
after
CD
being on
for.
stage. Yeah, exactly. I'm like burnt out after being on stage, running around shaking my dick. Jesus Christ.
So
Okay.
what was the fucking like? What was the reason behind wearing the Texas bikini thing and flapping the dick out? Was like what was you just wanted to do that or?
Okay. It's all about rock and roll. You
Absolutely.
go back to the cod piece with Wasp. Go back to
Yep.
David Lee Roth and how his spandex were so goddamn tight you could see his fucking junk.
Yep. Oh,
Okay.
dude. And
All I was,
balls.
yeah, yeah. And all I did, I took the dick off the leg.
He's like, here it is.
Yeah. It's like it needed to go to the next level.
You
What
did.
else was left to do in rock and roll other than take the dick off the leg?
Dude, and
And
you
then I was
fucking
like,
did.
hey, you know what? I can play a tambourine with this thing.
And you did.
Yep. And I've gotten pretty well. I got pretty decent at it. I'm going to have to reteach myself with the walking. I'm going to have to reteach myself to play the tambourine.
Dude, I think the new evolution of this is going to be even better. Like I'm almost 100% sure. Like you're going to learn
I
it.
hear
You're
you.
going
And
to
I mean, honestly, I've thought about it that way myself. I said, oh, so you're giving me cancer so I can get more popular? Is that your way, Satan?
done. Here we go. Challenge fucking accepted. Dude, I've loved talking. I hope you and me just talk all the time from now on. Whether we do it on here or
I hear you, man. Right on.
talking like this, it's just fun fucking meeting a new cool person. So let's talk about Stefan Mann.
All right.
How the fuck do you know that motherfucker?
Well, actually, when I moved into the house that I'm currently at, he was one of the roommates at the time.
Okay.
We ended up hanging out a little bit here and there, and over the years, just kept in touch.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, yeah, he's a little out there for damn sure, but only some people can take him.
That's true.
I can say the same about Billy Milano if you ever met him.
That's also true.
If you really get to know him, But there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of an outside way of thinking, if you ask me.
No, no, dude. So like I was saying earlier, and I don't know if I'm going to keep how I said it in there before, but I'm going to say it again. Met him on a skateboard, and I was literally driving. I was skating past his house. He was sitting on the front porch, and his house was across from the Katy, Texas, like the funeral home. And
Oh wow.
so I was just skating past, and I looked over and I saw he had a beer, and I was looked over at him, like kicked my skateboard up. 15 years old. I think he was like, I don't know, 29 or something. I was like, hey man, you got any extra beer? And he basically was like, well, yeah. He didn't give a fuck how old I was or whatever. He just saw that I was wearing a Cradle of Filth shirt and was like, oh, that guy's cool. And I came over and started hanging out with him, and he bought me beer. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm 15. He was like, oh fuck. Like
Ah,
all right, but it was too late. It was too late by then,
right.
And like then we were buddies, and I got my first tattoo in his house in Katy, Texas, and we were watching a Black Sabbath album or a video, a VHS tape at the time,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
and got this tattoo right here, and I've
Nice.
just been good. I've been to jail with Stefan for fucked up shit that I'm not going to talk about here. We'll talk about it after. Um, and like it was like that dude's like one of my he's been through some shit, I've been through some shit, and he's one of my favorite people. I think he's as punk rock slash metal as it gets, and
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
the coolest thing about him is he is just pure. Even though he's in Florida at the moment, he's still pure fucking Texas music,
Yeah.
period.
Absolutely.
And like what he was on Chaos Radio back in the day in Austin. Was it Chaos Radio? Is that what it was called?
I'm not familiar with it, but yes, it's Chaos Radio only because I have enough friends that say the name often enough.
Okay, yeah, it was Chaos Radio. He was on there. He was Doctor S on there. Actually, Razor 13 was on the show before Doug Pennick joined. Anyway, Stefan's a fucking fantastic person. I love that guy. And it like when I told him you were gonna come on, he just lit up and just started texting the shit out of me. He was like, no fucking way, dude, this is gonna be great. And I
Heck yeah.
really appreciate you coming on, dude. This is so much fun. So we've
It's
talked
good fun.
about we've talked about Stefan, we've talked about music, we've talked about whatever. Now we got to go to the beyond, and then we'll end it. So the
All right.
beyond is like ghosts and shit. Have you ever met Bigfoot? Have you ever seen a UFO? Have you ever seen a ghost?
I've never seen a UFO other than if you want to count like a star moving across the sky, and that's just more than likely a government thing. I don't know. Maybe it's UFOs. It's shit. Go ahead. Count that.
Sure.
But no, I've never seen Bigfoot.
Never met him.
I grew up in Idaho. If you're gonna meet Bigfoot, it's probably
That would
there.
be there.
But I did do a lot of hunting out there. Got lost once even. But I did raise a demon from hell once. It's
Okay.
it's blue. It's about this big.
Okay. So what? Okay. So if you're talking about, okay, this is cool because I've gone down this
It
rabbit hole
came out of
too.
the bathtub drain.
How did that happen?
I was angry enough.
Okay.
That's all it takes. After I did so many rituals I was younger, I don't even need to do a ritual anymore. All I have to do is be angry enough. But I don't get that angry very often. You can ask anybody who knows me. It takes a lot to anger me. But if you do, I will raise a demon from hell from a bathtub drain.
Okay. So like when you did this, like I
From the
feel like
sewer, basically.
from the sewer, like I feel like I don't understand exactly, but I wanna know because I read like the Black Raven, and I read the Keys of Solomon, and all these things about doing things with demons. Am I not getting this right, or are you literally fucking raised a demon?
I literally raised a demon.
And how did you do it? What were you
I was angry at someone at the time, and that demon went off and did my bidding.
And it just happened. It just came
Now
out of
it
it.
does, and it does, yeah, and it doesn't. It just happens at this point. Now you can do rituals to raise demons to do
Right,
your bit,
right.
and that's the usual way of doing it. But I swear, at some point, if you just have enough anger and you're that well versed
Sure.
that you can just think the thoughts that it happens. But now when this demon runs around and does shit for me, he's not necessarily doing exactly what I told him to do. I just told him to go raise some hell, and he does what he does, and I can't. I got to pull him back in after a while and say, "All right, you've done enough."
Okay. Dude, that's fucking interesting. That is so interesting. Cause when I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, I was doing, I haven't even talked about this on this podcast, but like we were doing Black Raven stuff and Key of Solomon things. And we were reading rituals, me and some friends, and we were trying to figure out literally, this is how stupid we were. We were just trying, we couldn't buy cigarettes at the time. We smoked them, but we couldn't buy them.
Right.
So when the stores shut down in Katy, Texas at 9 o'clock, we wanted to send a fucking demon into the damn store to steal cigarettes for us and bring them back to us. Spoiler alert, that never happened.
Right. Of
But
course.
but there was a really fucking weird night, and a person, I'll call him Andy. My buddy Andy and me were doing this thing, and we pulled up the old shitty fucking window things that you look out if you've done too much meth. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
We pulled those things out, and we hadn't been doing meth. We were too young at the time. But like we were looking out, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And there was a young person walking down the street, and it was like 1 a.m., like, and all by itself. And then it stopped, it looked at the window where we were looking out, and then it vanished. And I was like, that's it, we've done it, it's gonna be great, we're gonna have a carton of cigarettes tomorrow. Well, again, long story short, we never got a carton of cigarettes the next day, but I swear to God, this thing fucking vanished. And
I believe it.
I do think we smoked weed, but I don't like, but that's it. We weren't doing acid. We weren't doing
Yeah.
anything. It was just like, we read this stuff out of the Black Raven or the Key of Solomon, one of the two, which are pretty much the same thing. And this thing happened. And again, human memory is actually fucking shit. So maybe
Yeah.
we created it in our own head or whatever, but
Sure.
it was something fucking weird as fuck. Dude, this has been so much fun. I really appreciate you coming on, and I hope you'll come on again and we can talk some more and just
Right
have
on.
a good
I'm
old
down.
time.
You got to go.
God of all Texas, my favorite new friend. All right, everyone. This has been Ryan 13. You've been on the 13. This is the God of all Texas, and thank you so much for coming on. And we'll see you all again on the next one. Yeah.